Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, your Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is September 1st. Happy first day of meteorological fall. You made it, and we have a trough to show for it here, moving down the west coast, and you can see some lightning kicking off across California. Moisture will be wrapping back around this low for the next couple of days, and we'll take a look at those details here in a moment. We'll also take a look at the extended forecast. Some interesting signals here showing up. We'll look at that here in a moment in the weather models. This is SeaTac, 69 degrees yesterday, 7 degrees below average, 2/100 of an inch in the rain bucket, but still we finished August with a pretty good deficit there, 0.27 actual rainfall with 0.97 being the norm. This is looking at 500 millibars here with relative humidity at about 18,000 feet. There goes the low pressure system. You can't miss it. It's spinning and spreading moisture back up over the region here as we go through Saturday, and eventually a trough is going to swing by and help grab this trough and kick it off to the east as we go through Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. This is looking at a wider view of things, 500 millibar winds, Alaska, BC, Washington, Oregon here. Check out the cutoff low. You can see why we call it a cutoff low. The jet stream moves north of it and just kind of leads this cold air here, but then eventually a trough swings by and grabs us, and we'll kick it off to the east. Another trough will make a visit here as we go through the midweek period, and then we'll look at the extended in some model runs here in a moment. This is day one. Thunderstorm outlook does include Oregon down here, but day two, look at this, spreads it all the way up towards some of the southern Washington Cascades. Doesn't look like we'll get to the Seattle metro here, but you can never completely rule it out. And look at Portland, Eugene, some of the Willamette Valley under the gun as well. Pendleton also. And take a look at this. Taste of fall. Thursday through Saturday. They did put this out a couple days ago, but it still applies. Some nice beneficial precipitation falling across a lot of Oregon as we go through the next couple of days. So definitely a beneficial system. There's a lot of forest fires, the flat fires going on. There's several complexes of fires going on across Northern California there as well. And some of the central Oregon Cascades have been burning quite a bit here. So hopefully this can help suppress some of that activity. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station and measure all this crazy weather we get here in the Pacific Northwest, click on that link down below to save 10% off. This is my home here, and you can see the winds just update real time here. The solar radiation, it's very fun to watch here. It's got a lightning detection system on it as well. Highly recommend that station. So now let's look at the HRRR 3KM high resolution model. This is the 12Z run showing lightning potential, and you can see the upper level low, and you can see the track of these storms potentially moving off some of the Cascades over the next few days, trying to get out to the lower elevations. By the time we get to Saturday afternoon, an interesting wave moves up across the area too. Could bring some thunderstorms to Portland here, southwest Washington. So yeah, there we go. Maybe even to the east slopes of the Cascades eventually as we go through Sunday morning. We'll watch that one again closely tomorrow as well. This is looking at the GFS. So you can see the low pressure system here, and we're looking at California, Oregon, Washington, BC, and Alaska. This is the Gulf of Alaska view here. Put it into motion, and as the trough drops down, we might get a little bit of a warm up here across some areas that aren't affected by the cloud cover with that low spinning, but then we quickly cool back down to more seasonable temperatures here as another trough swings by there, and then we get one more as we go through the early portion, mid portion of next week. Now, if we go out far enough here in the GFS, watch this ridge kind of showing up here in the extended GFS. Pretty interesting signal here. And the European showing a hint of this as well. So look at this. We might get that September warm up that we usually get here at some point across Pacific Northwest. We can get some pretty warm temperatures. 90 degrees for Seattle aren't out of the realm of possibility as you go into the month of September. And look at this monster ridge here somewhere out towards September 13th. It's way out there, but it's kind of an interesting signal to watch. Just fantasy for now. Looking at yesterday afternoon's European, let's check out what it has to say. You can see that trough spinning, a little bit of that ridge building in here for one day on Saturday, and then we kick that trough out. Another trough swings through. Pretty good model agreement there. And then you'll notice the European also, after about hour 200, kind of showing some ridging developing here across some of the western portion of the USA. Something we'll watch here off in the extended forecast. Just fantasy for now. That could easily change at that time range. This is looking at total precipitation in inches. Last night's European run, and you can see there's some beneficial rain going to fall across Oregon, especially as we go on in through tonight. And Saturday, another wave moves through. You can see there, and then another one should move through as we go through the day Sunday also. Then the next trough will try to swing through as well. But you can see a lot of areas getting over a half an inch here across some of the mountainous regions here where there are some fires ongoing, including Northern California as well. So hopefully that can help things out. Now, taking a look at the national blended models, this is for today. Seattle 76. You can see some 80s showing up for the Willamette Valley, low 80s. Tomorrow, we get that bump in temperatures a bit. And you can kind of see a little bit suppressed the further south you go here because that low is going to be spinning, bringing some clouds back over the area. And look, by Sunday, we quickly bring that heat back down and get back down to the lower 70s for Seattle. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can see temperatures much more seasonable. Actually, somewhat below average here for some of the Puget Sound coming up. So we'll watch that one as we go. This is 8 to 14 day, and I think that this might change a bit here. If that ridging signal starts to become a little bit more prevalent in the model runs, you're probably going to see a flip-flop in some of this 8 to 14 day outlook stuff, because you can see above average precipitation probability as of yesterday anyway, and you can see that goes out towards September 14th. This is day one, marginal risk for some flash flooding conditions across Northern California, Southern Oregon. The monsoon season going on right now, at least a surge of it for some of the Southwest USA, but you can see this get extended up across some of the Oregon Cascades as we go through tomorrow. So that is that upper level low spinning that moisture back around. Now take a look at this. I mentioned this yesterday here. We got the drought monitor, and you got some extreme drought across northwest Washington and portions of Snohomish, Skagit, Whatcom County there. We've got some severe and moderate drought across a lot of the area. And strangely enough, we don't have any drought in some of the worst rain shadowed areas across Washington state. We're getting some thunderstorm activity over there that's been bringing some precipitation. But yeah, you can see pretty darn dry here across a lot of the Pacific Northwest. And they talk about it here, and they talk about 7-day average stream flows are pretty low, lower than the 10th percentile, and some other drought indexes supporting deterioration of the Cascades, as well as other areas in the state, poor moisture content out there. Yeah, so they expanded that extreme drought all the way into northwest Montana as well. And we've been getting actually a deficit of precipitation. I'm going to show you those maps here in a minute. And this was issued August 31st, and they show this brown for drought persists across a lot of the Pacific Northwest. So not a very encouraging signal here. Here's a little bit of a short-term objective drought blend equivalent here into some pretty dry conditions across western Washington and Oregon showing up there. You know, we've had a pretty good deficit of precipitation. We did get that nice band of rain for some areas, mainly across northwest Washington, some of the island counties up there, you know, Whidbey Island, San Juan's, but we'll take a look at those totals here in a moment. This is looking from June 3rd to August 31st, and you can see that deficit of precipitation across a lot of western Oregon, western Washington. It's been below average as far as meteorological summer has gone here across much of the region, and you can see the track of Tropical Storm Hillary as it moved up through California, Nevada, Oregon, Idaho, and on through the east across portions of Montana and Wyoming. Now, this is looking at average temperature. We showed this yesterday, but we did update it here. It goes day at a time, and you can see the above average conditions across much of the Pacific Northwest between 0 and 4 degrees above average here. And this is looking at August 18th through August 31st. So you can see that highlight of where that band of thunderstorms was setting up here. And you can see kind of the bump here across a lot of eastern Washington. You get some thunderstorm activity out there, but you can see a lot of the dry areas, even just in the last couple of weeks across Skagit, Whatcom County, and some of northern Snohomish County as well, the Washington coast, some of the Puget Sound also. And this goes from August 2nd, much of the region below average here, at least west of the Cascades anyway, but you can still see where that band hit and showed up. And you can see some areas across the San Juans and Whidbey Island got some pretty good precipitation amounts with that last storm that moved through, but that's not the case for much of western Washington, western Oregon, and British Columbia here. So anyway, I'm just trying to explain what the drought monitor was seeing there. They're just talking about general things like stream flow and soil moisture and precipitation and temperatures. They kind of take all that into account when they're doing their job. But anyway, so we're going to watch off into the extended. We got a couple more troughs to go here across the region. Then some of the models showing some ridging building in here towards mid-September. We'll watch that. We could look tomorrow and see that totally erased. At this time range right now, it's just kind of a fantasy forecast, but it would not be unprecedented. We can warm up here across Pacific Northwest in through the September month. But anyway, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Click on that link down below if you want that weather station. It's fun to watch the weather real time. It makes weather much more enjoyable. And yeah, we'll do this again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.